Her name is Rookie, and she's a puppy.
Is she?
Yes, she is.
Oh, all right. Today, my friends and my babies, my loved ones, my enemies.
Your enemies listen?
This is the Two Better Halves podcast, in which we take one topic and split it into two 15 or 20-minute halves, each led by one of us, one led by the wife.
Me.
One led by the husband. Me. Typically, it's a serious topic that we talk about and get into the weeds. But today's a fun episode. We're doing Never Have You Ever, a play on Never Have I Ever, in which we will take a bunch of Never Have I Ever suggestions given from you, brought up by us, pulled from the internet, throw it in a random list generator, and try to answer them for each other. So the first thing we'll do is we'll take 10 of them, and I will try to answer for Sarah, never has she ever or not, see if there's anything I can learn new about her, things I didn't know about her, share some embarrassing stories, then we'll flip it up, we'll do 10 for me. Sound all right?
Yes, sounds great.
And remember, you can find us anywhere you enjoy podcasts, and of course, on that Insta, and that Facey.
That's what we call them now?
That's what I call them. All right, so I got my random list. Smack it. Boom. Okay. Never have you ever had a nude photo of yourself passed around? So never have you ever had a nude photo of yourself passed around? I'm going to say that has never happened to you. And the reason I don't think that's ever happened to you is when you and I were together, you had mentioned that giving naked pictures of yourself wasn't something you really did with your ex-husband. And when you were in high school and college, I don't think your phones could do that. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
For being old.
Am I wrong?
You are not wrong.
Okay. So I'm going to say you have never had a nude photo of you passed around by people's phones and stuff.
That is correct.
Oh, see? Look at that. I just had to do some deductions.
That was very fair. You know, the cell phone I had in college was one of the ones that you had to plug it into the cigarette lighter to charge because on the 4-hour trip from college to my house, it would die.
There you go.
So there you go.
All right. Next one. Never have you ever punched someone in the face as hard as you could? Pretty sure you said you've never been in a fight before. You've told me that. But that doesn't mean you've never punched someone. That wouldn't consist of a fight. And I think if you would have, you still wouldn't do as hard as you could. So I'm going to say you have never punched someone as hard as you could in the face.
So what I will say is that we did have, you bought some boxing gloves for a bachelor party at one point.
Oh, that's right.
And there was a boxing match. I will say that you and I fought each other with boxing gloves on and the headgear and the whole shebang. I did not punch as hard as I could have. So no, I've never punched anyone.
But it hurt.
I've never punched anyone as hard as I could. I couldn't. Your face is gorgeous. I couldn't risk hurting it.
But I had that gear on.
I know, but I didn't punch you as hard as I could have.
And she's not mentioning that I was ducking. She couldn't touch me.
Yes, okay.
I was like a laser pointer.
You are correct.
I was like a gosh damn laser pointer. All right. Never have you ever cried at work? Surely you've cried at work. Surely.
Well, that seems a little bit aggressive.
There's just no way you haven't cried at work.
Okay, so I have cried at work.
Bam.
One time.
I'm 3 for 3, y'all.
One time. When I found out that one of my coworkers had committed suicide. I
remember that.
I bawled. It was terrible. I was very upset.
Now, if we're counting your work trips, in which you're sort of on the clock the whole time you're on the trip, I know you've cried more than that because I've made you cry by being a little bitch.
That is also fair, but I was thinking specifically at work in my office.
Yes.
And I mean, I was a mess for... I was caught very much by surprise. I did not anticipate that he would have killed himself, and it was very upsetting.
Yeah, I remember that. I thought you were at home when you found that out.
Nope, I was at work at my desk. Luckily, I was in my office by myself, and me crying was not a huge deal, but it was pretty terrible.
Never have you ever snooped through someone else's cabinets? That does not seem like something you would do. I'm trying to think maybe when you were a lot younger, maybe. Nowadays, like I cannot imagine uppity professional Sarah. Uppity and like, I mean uppity and like proper. I think proper is the better way. Proper Sarah being like, I need to use the restroom and let's see what kind of pills you take. I'm going to say no. You've never snooped through someone's cabinet.
I totally have. When you're in the bathroom, and you're supposed to. You're supposed to look at the cabinet.
Snooping means you're not looking for something in specific.
No, just seeing what's in there.
What the hell? Like, regularly you do that?
I mean, I wouldn't say I've done it in like the last year or two, but yeah, pretty regularly.
What the hell? That's people's privacy.
Yeah, well, I mean, they shouldn't put it in their guest bathroom.
Have you ever found anything cool?
No.
No, me either.
It's always just, aspirin.
Yeah, fucking nerds.
Anti-itch cream, Band-Aids,
If y'all ain't keeping big old dragon dildos in your cabinets, I don't know what you're doing.
I mean, I don't know why you'd put that in the guest bathroom, but...
Never have you ever read a novel in a day. What makes something a novel? Is there like a certain amount of words in it, or it just needs to be?
You know what? I don't know where the transition between short story and novel is. So we'll just go with anything that's published as a standalone book.
I would say you had to have. There's no you. You probably have read the entire Harry Potter series in a day. And I feel like that's one of the Harry Potter books you told me you did read in a day. Maybe you said just in a weekend, but I'm gonna say yes, you read a novel in a day.
Yes, and it was the 7th Harry Potter book.
See,
I did read it in a day.
That's a big one too.
It's a big one.
What happened in that day?
So it was one of those. It was one of the few that I pre-ordered. Most of the other ones I bought in a bookstore. That one I had pre-ordered. I was very excited to see how it was going to end. And I had only ordered one copy. And my husband at the time also is very into Harry Potter, but I'm a much faster reader. So we had made the agreement that I would read the book first so that he could then read it after me. So I knew that there was some pressure because he wanted to read it too for me to get through it. So I read through the first several chapters just in an effort to, be ahead of the game so that I could get through it quickly so that he could have his turn too. But then I got sucked in. Like once Hedwig died and everything, that was it. I was invested, and so it arrived at our doorstep at like 8:00 in the morning, and I was up till like midnight. You didn't have work
or anything that day?
No, it was a Saturday.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, but it was like close to midnight when I finished, but still
technically on it. Good
still
job.
Technically within a day.
All right, so I've gotten all but one. Never have you ever witnessed a crime? Do we want to put like some sort of... I didn't put that question. Maybe that was you, or we got that from one of the listeners. I don't remember. Do we want to put like a severity of a crime?
You can put whatever limits you want on it to make it easier for you to answer, because you're the one who's going to have to answer.
We'll say violent crime.
Okay, so violent crime would be like rape or assault or murder. Or...
I mean, any kind of attacking someone in public would be, a violent crime.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you can't just go up and punch someone in the face in the street. And
no, that is assault.
Yes, that's assault. I would say, yeah, you've probably witnessed that.
Yeah, so I think that this is one of the things with you not having gone to public school, you're not aware. And maybe not all public schools are like this, but I've been to lots of public schools. And I've witnessed a lot of full-on fist fights, slamming people into lockers, like out of control fights. Does it count as
crimes if it's in high schools? Like, do people get charged? I guess if it gets out of hand,
they do, but they're juveniles, right? So
that's still new.
But I mean, like, I have witnessed people, like I said, slamming each other into lockers. It's not like little slaps.
What was the worst one you ever witnessed?
So where I went to school in Illinois for high school, I was only there for a semester before we moved. About 2 weeks after I left, there was actually a gang-related stabbing at that school, and multiple people were arrested for attempted murder, and metal detectors were put in the doors. So I had moved just before that, so I didn't actually witness the stabbing fight, but it was a school where that type of activity was starting to become more and more prevalent.
And you didn't use that environment to punch someone in the face ever?
No.
Man, you should have. Bam, bam. What was that? What did we talk about in our last episode? Leanne? Was that her name?
Yes.
Wabaka.
Oh, I definitely had hostile feelings towards her at various points in my life.
Whoa, all right. Calm down, murderer.
Never interested in
Sarah's
physically punching her.
Never have you ever shot a gun. I know you wouldn't have done it with me. You know you wouldn't have done it with Spencer. Because he's like me. We don't like that kind of stuff. But then you dated Jeff in high school, who the guy I know now as Jeff is a redneck Southerner. I'm sure he loves Donald Trump. I don't want to say that, maybe he doesn't. If he's listening, I don't think he will listen. We are Facebook friends. Maybe he doesn't love Donald Trump, but he seems like he would because he's a white guy.
You're also a white guy. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, honey, but I'm a white bisexual guy. Okay, a little diff.
Okay, fair enough.
A little diff. The only gun I'm interested in... Never mind. I'm going to say that you have shot a gun based on him being your boyfriend, who your dad is. Yes, you've shot a gun.
Okay, I would say who my dad is a much better indication than Jeff. I never shot a gun with Jeff.
Okay.
But my dad did have a BB gun when I was growing up.
And BB gun doesn't count.
Why does that not count? It's a gun.
Because that's like in the same vein of airsoft gun. That can't do any damage. I'm talking
he
about
also had a revolver.
With a bullet.
And so it was a big thing to set up cans in the backyard.
And shoot the revolver. Yeah. When I think of gun, I think of, like when people say gun control, they're not talking about BB guns and airsoft guns. They're talking about guns that can do damage.
Yeah, so
that's what I think.
Yeah, he also had a revolver. I shot a couple of times. I definitely shot the BB gun more.
So you are the Trump lover.
No.
But you've shot a gun.
Yes. And I don't want to own a gun, and I've never owned a gun in my entire life.
Never have you ever been asked to step out of your car by a police officer. So that would mean for some reason the police officer feels like you shouldn't be in the vehicle. I'm not counting there's an accident, and so you need to step out because of the accident. But been asked when you are comfortably in your car to step out by a police officer, I can't imagine that ever happening to you. You've never told me anything that makes me believe there was a situation that would have led to that. So, no. You've never been asked to step out of your car by a police officer.
No.
Whew, okay. You're worrying me, that little smile on your face.
No, I've gotten maybe 4 speeding tickets in my life.
Jeez Louise.
Considering that I've been driving for 25 years, 4 speeding tickets
with
is really not
with a gun on your
that.
hip, speeding limit flying through. Monster.
I mean, I'm also a cute girl, though, so.
That is true. Never have you ever walked out of a movie theater because a movie was bad. Not for any other reason. Simply because this movie is bad. I don't want to watch this movie. Oh, you've been to a lot of movies. You were raised in a family that really liked movies.
That is very true.
So statistically speaking, but you guys are also respectful of cinema. Like, you guys would want to stick it through. I like how you said cinema. It made it sound
well,
because
so
your brother writes movies. He makes
does.
Movies in Hollywood. I don't think he probably doesn't call them movies. He probably calls them cinematography. And he twirls his mustache. Does he have a mustache? In my head, he has a mustache.
I mean, he's had a beard with a mustache. He's never had a standalone mustache.
So statistically, you probably would have walked out of one. But you guys have also always only talked about movies you love, and he's so into movies, and you guys made movies as a kid. So I'm going to say that you guys are such nerds that you have never walked out.
So if we haven't walked out of a movie,
de
facto we are nerds.
I don't want to waste my money. I'm going to sit through Big Mama's House 3. I'm going to say you've never walked out of a movie theater because the movie was bad.
Okay, so I never have.
Bam.
I have also never not finished a book except for one.
I am
in my entire life because I am a finisher.
Yeah, but that's way different.
I keep thinking it's going to get better. I'm even very reluctant to stop watching TV series. We'll start watching a show. We'll get 3 seasons in, and you'll be like, I'm done. And I watch all the way to the end.
I made it 10 seasons in The Big Bang Theory before saying, this has become trash. I'm done.
And I finished it because I'm a finisher, and that is what I do.
Don't act like, oh, wow, I watch and read things that are bad.
I'm telling
That's
you,
not a good thing.
No, I'm telling you, I have this hope in my heart that it's going to get better, and I'm going to have missed something, and so I keep going and I keep going. I'll say the only time that we came close, my grandmother would take us to movies when we would stay overnight with her, and I'm not sure how it happened or why this was the movie that we went to, but we went and saw one of the Kid and Play movies, and it was something
Kid and Play?
Yeah, House Party 2, Pajama Jammy Jam.
Okay.
And it was very inappropriate to see with your grandmother. And we probably should have walked out of that movie at some point because I think we were like 7 and 9. Way too young to be watching that movie.
Does she
with
know
our
it's R-rated?
I mean, I don't know. I can't remember this. I just remember that halfway through the movie I turned and looked at Luke and was like, what is happening here? But we all stayed and we all watched the whole movie. So,
well, I got one more, and I've done great. I missed one.
You've done very well.
Last one. Never have you ever had stitches, and you have had stitches.
So I think it depends on what the rules of that are. I have had episiotomies when I had babies, so I have had stitches of that.
That's what I was thinking.
I've never
and then you
had
have the staples in your stomach, which are a little different.
An injury that, like, I never fell or tripped
I
or
would
cut
say
myself
a baby
and
coming
stitches.
out and ripping your vagina to your ass is absolutely an injury. So yes, those are stitches, right? They use stitches.
Yes.
So yes. So 9 for 10.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Well, good job.
I am amazing. I sent you a randomly generated list. I would say pick a point and then go 10 down. Don't pick and choose.
Okay.
Because then you mess up the random generation of it. So.
Okay.
So find a good point to start at. Hit me with them. Let's see what's going on. Never have I ever dance with my pants off. Dance with my pants off.
All right. Okay. So the first one we're going to go with is...
Never have I ever danced with my pants off?
No.
Oh, because I have.
Never have you ever sent a stranger a drink.
Okay.
So, like, you're at a bar and you're like, oh, hey, there's a cute guy or girl over there. I'm going to send them a drink so they know I'm interested.
Okay.
So, I'm going to say...
And stranger means I didn't know them before.
Yes.
Like, that's how I did the icebreaker?
Yes.
Or I gave them a drink before knowing their name? Because, you know, I could have talked to them for like 5 minutes and then like, let me buy you a drink before I know anything about them.
Okay.
Is that the same?
I will say that is the same.
Okay.
I will say it can't be like a friend that you knew and you were like, hey,
but I don't know if it was like in the movies where like,
or are you taking somebody
madam, here's a drink from that young man over there.
I mean, that was my initial thought, but I think that if you walked up to somebody in a bar, struck up conversation, and then offered to buy them a drink, that's still your first meeting with them. So I'm still going to loop that into the same thing.
That's what I was thinking too.
I think asking for clarity gives me a little pause that maybe my answer is not correct. But you're so charismatic, and I don't feel like you need that as the icebreaker. So I'm going to say no. You've never bought a stranger a drink.
One more of clarity.
Oh, God.
If they asked, are you buying us drinks? And then I did it.
No, yeah, that they have solicited for that.
But I'm still buying the drinks.
Yeah, but that is not the same. You are not using that as a way to either initiate or continue the conversation.
I have never done it.
All right, but I want to hear a little bit more about this caveat. So when did someone ask you to buy them a drink and you did?
Well, remember that girl from Alabama we talked about in our last episode?
I feel like I should be more upset about this incident.
Why?
You wouldn't be upset if I had done that. If the situation were reversed, would you have been upset?
If then she was like, hey, let's hook up, and you would have said no, yeah, I would not be upset.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Because, I mean, it was me and my friend there and the two girls there, and they asked if we were going to buy them drinks.
I feel like if I bought a guy a drink, you would be upset. And maybe I'm far in left field here.
That's not the same. You said the same. That means you're buying a hot girl a drink.
Oh, God. Okay.
That's always my argument, you guys. It never works.
Okay. I'm supposed to do 10 of these, right?
Yes.
I want to make sure I'm keeping...
I would start from where you...
I'm keeping... Yeah. I just want to keep count. All right, so the next one is, never have you ever picked up a hitchhiker?
Picked up
So you're the driver, and someone else is hitchhiking, and you pick them up.
Okay.
So I'm going to say that you have not picked up a hitchhiker. Not because I don't think you're a good Samaritan. You don't drive a huge amount of places, and certainly not in places where hitchhikers would be frequent. And especially since it's gotten less and less common the further that we've gotten in time, and the fact that you are younger, I don't think since the time you've driven you've even really passed that many hitchhikers. So I'm going to say no.
I've done it twice.
Wow, okay. I'm bad at this.
What? You got the first one right. Once we added the caveat.
Okay.
It
doesn't feel like I won that one. I feel like I lost. But go ahead.
Are you upset?
No, I mean, I feel like I should have been more upset about that night at the time, but it's silly to be upset about it now, years later.
Yeah, there are lots of things we could be mad at each other about at the time that we have now let go. Again, I started driving when I was really religious. And, you're all about helping people. I picked up a hitchhiker then. He was just driving to the gas station on the way to the house I was living at the time, so it wasn't an issue whatsoever. He was raggedy, nice fella. And then when Jason and I used to do air conditioning together in the really, really, the really poor ghetto part where we were building the Plex, when I would be driving or he would be driving, he would always pick up people who needed it. And then that rubbed off on me. And so, because there were like people around there that we knew that they didn't want to go far.
Right.
And so I ended up picking up someone over there, too.
Okay.
So twice.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. Never have you ever attended a riot?
A riot.
A riot. I am going to say no. I don't think that you have attended a riot. I feel like, first of all, the situation, like, most people wouldn't, you're not choosing to attend a riot. You are there for something, and a riot happens around you. And so,
but if you stayed there once it became a riot,
yes,
you were attending.
Yes,
yeah.
But I feel like most people aren't aware of the fact at the time. I would say like 90% of people who wind up in a riot didn't realize at the time that that's exactly what was going to happen. They knew it was a possibility, but I don't think that they went there knowing that that was the intention. Yep. So I'm going to say no. No,
I've never attended a riot. Okay. And the only like protest I've attended, gay rights protests. I've attended. Me and a couple of friends had a protest in support of the Starship in Sharpsburg opening. Actually, they wrote a newspaper article about it. I don't know how you can find it anymore. They interviewed my best friend who, at the time, had put it all together and everything. The church was very mad at me about that. Not surprising. And then I attended all the Black Lives Matter stuff with you, and none of those became riots. I think as long as private property is not being damaged, it doesn't become a riot. Once absolutely. It does, I'd say that's when you can say that is a riot, when the people there are starting to damage things. So, no, never attended a riot.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
Yay, I finally got one right.
You're at 2! You've gotten 2. You've missed 1.
I thought I've done 4 now.
Have you done 4? I don't know. So. It's not my...
I got the hitchhiker one wrong, too.
No, you didn't?
Yes, I did, because I said you
that's the only one you got wrong. First one was the drink, then the hitchhiker, right? Was there another one?
Oh, I know, that's it. I guess
you're 2 for 1. You're doing great, babe. Why can't I say nice things to you?
I'm sorry. I thought I was higher at a number than that. I don't know. It seems like I've been talking a lot longer. I thought I was already at 4.
No, this is number 4.
Okay. Never have you ever lost more than $50 gambling? I know you've played poker. I know you've done some of the buy-ins at the local restaurants. Mm-hmm. $50 seems like a lot.
It is a lot.
But then again, it doesn't seem like that much. It's not something crazy like you're not going to be able to afford to make a car payment or buy groceries on $50. So I'm going to say yes.
I have not. I've never lost more than $50. To you, $50 might not seem like a lot. But you got to remember, when I was big into playing poker, I made like no money. I was working shitty jobs. I don't have college degrees. $50 was a lot. The most I have ever lost is $20.
Okay.
And that's not at the restaurants. At the restaurants, you don't have to pay to play. But in the poker games that I have run, I ran some with you. We've played some. We used to do some at our house all the time. I've done lots of $20 buy-ins. Especially, like, it used to be every birthday, Daniel or I, my little brother, would do $20 buy-in games. And everyone had to pay $20. And you'd just be like 5 or 6 people. So then the pot is still really, really big. But no, never more than $20.
Okay.
If I was making more money, I absolutely would spend $50. Because at the point from 16 years old to 20 years old, I was good at poker.
Yes.
I was really into it. I played it as much as I could. I played it online. I went to bars and played with people 30, 40 years older than me. I learned from all these other people. I was really, really, really into it. So I would have spent $50 on it if that would have been something that, I could get away with.
Yeah. And I think that I'm not surprised that you liked it. You are very interested in human psychology. And so I can see. I
just like the way cards look.
Look
at that 7 of clubs. Oh, baby. And I start jacking it.
Not it.
No, it's not.
All right. Never have you ever re-gifted something?
Re-gifted something?
Okay. I'm going to say no, because I think you are somebody who really enjoys giving good gifts. And I think you almost get more enjoyment out of giving a gift and seeing somebody really be happy and surprised by what you've gotten than you are by getting something. So I can't imagine you being like, oh, it's just good enough to give them something I just happen to have around. It just doesn't seem like your personality.
I'd say yes, you're completely right. There was this geisha doll that I used to steal from my friend's house. And I would give it to him as a gift later on, and then he'd give it back to me as a gift, and then I would give it back to him as a gift as a running joke.
Okay.
That I don't think counts.
I don't think it does
Regifting has the the context of I didn't like this gift, I'm going to give it away.
Yeah.
And I also say absolutely agree with you that I get more pleasure out of giving a really good gift until that birthday where I got the Nintendo Switch and the skates in the same birthday.
And you got a trip to Denver. When
you guys gave me that birthday, I realized, fuck other people. This is awesome. When everybody came to that was the first holiday ever for me because my birthday is really close to Christmas. It's 2 weeks before Christmas. That was the first time ever that you and my little brother and your mom and your dad all came together to give me just this one really good birthday. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So since then, I am a materialistic monster.
Well,
I just want things.
Yeah, see, I created a monster then.
Yeah, and I love my Switch. You love my Switch.
I do love your Switch.
I love my skates. We don't skate anymore, but every time we do skate, I have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Those skates are so comfortable, too.
Yeah.
Those are good skates.
I know what good skates are.
You do know what good skates are.
I know good skates.
So you're what, 3 for 2?
Yes. All right.
You don't know me at all.
Never have you ever cheated on a test?
Cheated on a test?
I'm going to say...
school-wise?
Yeah, so I'm going to say no, because the situations where you would have been able to cheat off of someone else on a test are so slim that...
You're so wrong.
There's no way you could have done it.
But you got to understand, I was homeschooled.
I understand that, but your
The answer
brothers...
key is in the house at all times. All it takes is your mom running one errand, and you have aced every test of the entire week. And in my junior and senior year, my mom, because she was going through the divorce at the time, love you, Mom, this is what happened. So she was sad. So she just gave us the books, the test, the answer key says, I'm going to have to just trust you, finish your last 2 years of school. You think I fucking researched anything? No, I just cheated. That's why I don't have a good education. Because my dad left. So yes, I have cheated so much.
I'm so disappointed in you.
I have made this very, very clear. Up until about 21, 22 years of age, I was a piece of trash. I was a bad person who did a lot of really, really bad things.
And then you met me.
Did I meet you when I was 20? I guess probably our first murder, first murder mystery, where I kissed your ex-husband.
Yeah.
He was Colonel Mustard? It was the Clue murder mystery.
It was the Clue murder mystery, and you were the inspector.
I was Detective Black. Yeah. I was a new character, and he was one of the other ones, and we ended up having a love thing, and we made out on stage.
Yeah, I thought he was something, Mr. Green, maybe.
He may have been Mr. Green. So
this was a long time ago.
I love that. I love the fact that I kissed him before I kissed you. He's a good kisser. You already know. You married him.
Okay, moving on.
But yes, I've cheated a lot. I'm sorry I'm so bad.
Never have you ever been so drunk that you passed out? You're not a big drinker now.
Yeah.
But you do have diabetes, which definitely changes things. One of the first times I was around you, you had quite a bit to drink because I think you were a little bit nervous. But I don't think you got close to passing out. But I feel like most of us did at some point when we first start drinking because we have no idea what our tolerance is. So I'm going to say yes.
Yes. And you're right. Yeah, definitely. I mean, in that first, because I started drinking when I was 19 because older brothers, friend who was always older than me. I've always been friends with people older than me.
Not surprising.
Alcohol has never been a problem. But I would say it.
Yeah, it's not a habitual thing.
But again, once I hit 21 and I could get it legally and I actually learned what I liked and everything, I was like, since I was 21, I've never passed out drunk. But yeah, early years, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I don't think it's just the diabetes. You very much like to be in control. And so feeling out of control is not really the ideal situation for you.
There's no benefit of drinking till you pass out in any context. I mean, you drink to relax and have fun and goof off. If you're passed out, you're not doing any of that. You're probably getting molested. I don't mean to make fun of people getting molested, but
you're putting yourself in a bad situation.
You're putting in a bad, not to say that makes an excuse or anything, but be careful. So, but yeah, definitely when I was younger.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not doing too terribly. What a
4 and 3?
4 and 3? Yeah. Okay.
Winning record.
Never have you ever had to run away from serious danger?
I guess serious danger, sort of anything that would really hurt me. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess my first thoughts, and I could it could be in how we interpret this. My first thoughts.
Well, let me know how you're interpreting. Yeah, and then I'll be able to answer correctly.
My first thoughts are thinking of things like somebody trying to kidnap you, somebody trying to stab you, somebody trying to do something that was physically going to harm you.
That's where I'm thinking too.
Is where I'm thinking. So, given that you lived in a pretty small town for the most part, and given that for the most part, there wouldn't be a whole lot of danger there. And you often were very tied in. Your parents were really good about being tied into the community. So you would have known a lot of the people around you. I would say no.
Well, you're wrong.
Of course I am, because I'm really bad at this.
I mean, it was the randomly generated stuff. And you're getting a lot that are based on a lot longer ago in my life. I got a lot of ones that are based on
That's fair.
Stuff in the last couple of years. But I had the bully when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. The one that we just hated each other. We're talking like fist fights every single... We went to church together because I was homeschooled. It was only church. But yeah, old Dustin Holbrook. And we would fight a lot.
Don't know his last name, man.
Fuck that. I mean, now he's probably a really good guy. Again, I was a piece of shit back then. So I thought he was a piece of shit back then. A lot of people do change and become a lot better. That is why... Unrelated, I am 100% of the mindset of I'm not going to unfriend you if you're a Trump supporter, because I would much rather still be able to be around that person, because so many people change. If people decided they weren't going to be friends with me when I was 20 and 21 and they all just abandoned me because of things I said and the things I thought, I'd be in a way worse place. But there are lots of people who said, hey, I don't like this shit about you. I'm still going to be friends with you. And they worked with me and I got a whole lot better. So that is my whole testament of why I... and will always be friends with Trump supporters and people that are different than me because, again, I think pretty much, unless you have a mental disability that something wrong with your brain and you're not getting pills to fix it, everybody can be fixed. So Dustin might be a great guy now. He's the one who his stepfather just died of coronavirus a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah,
who was
I remember.
my Sunday school teacher. And during that whole thing, he seemed like a great guy. And his dad ended up being in jail when he was growing up. He had a really hard life. I didn't have a hard life, and I incited fights with him a whole lot too. So, I had older brothers that I could not beat up. I had a younger brother that if I beat up, my parents would get super mad. So it kind of helped to have a bully there that I could fight with that had the same age as me. But the one time that really jumps out of my mind is we were behind one of the buildings at the church, and I threw a brick at him, and then the brick also broke a window, and he took a piece of glass, and he tried to run me down with it, and I had to run away to not get cut with this piece of glass that he had in his hand. I mean, there was only a couple times where, like, weapons really got involved. Most of the time it was punching and choking and submission moves and trying to hurt each other. But, yeah, there were a couple times there where one of us would get mad enough and we'd grab something near us and we'd try to hurt each other with it. So
that's intense.
But besides that, no. I mean, I can't think of any time recently in the last 10, 15 years where I've run away from really bad danger.
I still feel like that counts, though. And
No, it definitely counts if we're going with our whole lives, because it's never have I ever. That's the whole point of the question. So, yeah.
All right. So
4 and 4. Batting 500.
All right. Never have you ever done cocaine?
Oh, you know this one.
I do know this one. You have not.
You got lucky then. Because I say, man, I want to do cocaine.
Yes.
When I'm feeling really tired from the diabetes and stuff. Hell yeah, I wish I could do cocaine. So, never done it. Wish. I would do it. Just so everyone's listening to this. If you are a police officer, JK. Just kidding, obviously. If you're someone with cocaine, hit me up, bro. Love you. So you're at 5-4.
Yes.
So this is your last one on the list.
So I can't go negative, but I can pull it even.
Even or winning.
Yes.
So go ahead.
No, but you just said we're not going to keep score, and now I'm not going to be winning.
Well, I wasn't going to keep score because I thought we wouldn't be so good at keeping track of how many we've gone through, but we've actually done a really good job.
So now you want to win
because
I don't remember. You know you're going to win.
I think you're at like 9-1. You're doing a great job.
Wow. Okay.
This is a lose-lose, everybody.
I really
She's mad at me for being
question,
good at math.
But it's the next one.
Is it the poop one?
Yes.
Somebody sent in? Oh, my God.
So never have you ever pooped yourself as an adult?
What constitutes adult? 18 over?
18 and over.
Okay. Get into detail if you think I've pooped myself or not, baby.
Okay. So The only reason that I'm going to say yes.
What the hell?
Is because diabetes. And
you think at some point since I've been with you, I've pooped myself?
No, but
I've had diabetes since we've been together. I guess I could have had it sooner.
And you had all the pre-diabetic symptoms, and you wound up getting super sick and having to pull over and vomit because you had eaten carbs, but at the time you didn't realize that's what was happening. And I don't know all the effects that it has, but I can imagine it's all over the place.
Myself all day.
And craziness, and so I'm going to say yes.
You're disgusting. I have not, as an adult. I did it when I was 17 and 11 months old.
Oh, God,
I know.
That's not fair.
That is fair because it was, I remember it because it was when my girlfriend at the time's birthday was, around that same time, and that was in November. And I turned 18 that December.
I get a half a point for this one.
You can get half a point. But I know it was in November, and we lived in an area where we didn't have cell phone reception at our house, so I'd have to park at a school and talk to her. And when I was talking to her, I started feeling really sick on the phone, and then I ended up pooping myself and having to drive home in my own poop. But that was the last time.
All right, I got 5.5 to 4.5.
I have peed myself plenty of times because, if your blood sugar is really high and your ketones are out of whack and you have that frequent urination, definitely I have. When my blood sugar's crazy. I mean, I was wetting the bed before we went and got me that emergency help with the diabetes. It was bad. But yeah, pooping, no. So, but I'll give it to you. You can have it. Because, hey, in some countries, 17's an adult. So you know what? You can have that one. So we'll say you're 6 and 4. And I was 9 and 1. What is the most shocking thing you learned?
The one I was most surprised that I was wrong on was the hitchhiker one.
Oh, yeah?
The most shocking thing I learned was that you bought that girl a drink that was hitting on you at the bar.
God. At that point, she wasn't hitting on me. We were just all hanging out.
Okay, so that makes it even...
four of us.
That makes it even worse.
Why?
Because it wasn't you were just all flattered by the flirtation.
No, we were just hanging out. It was just people hanging out.
You were just buying random drinks for some person that you were just happened to be hanging out with.
that.
I don't know. That's worth to me. But... Again, I'm not going to be mad about something that was years ago. It's inconsequential.
Oh, you're not.
But I was surprised.
Sure,
that is surprising information to find out, given that I thought I knew everything that happened in that night.
I mean, it was so inconsequential that I never even thought about it. So
you're just so good. That's my point. You're so good at proactively communicating so many things with me that I'm just surprised.
Well, and in fairness, the whole thing, I should have told you. Don't get me wrong. I should have given you more details. But once it became, my friend wants me to mess around with this girl. This guy wants me to go let him jack me off on our last episode. Check it out. Those were the main things that I knew I wanted to give. That was the information I knew I wanted to relay. Here's the stuff that happened that you should know about.
And that's
I
fair.
didn't think about all that other stuff. Okay, we got a little bit more time. You got your list still?
My list of what?
Of Never Have I Evers?
I can pull it up. I don't think I have it immediately, but I can get there.
If there's anything on the Never Have I Evers, let's do 2 each.
Okay.
That you want to ask to the other person, just because maybe it's something that you don't already know.
Okay.
And let's do that.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't know if this is true with you or not. I know the people you've had sex with. I know the people you've had relationships with. But never have I ever made out with a stranger. So again, someone you don't know. Maybe you met. You don't know their name. It can't be someone, I wouldn't even say someone that you hung out with for 5 or 6 hours and by the end of the night. But it's like a real stranger. Never have I ever made out with a stranger to you?
Oh, you're not going to answer?
No. I just want you to answer.
Okay.
No. We'll do 2 of these each. Never?
No.
Okay. I figured you hadn't because you've always been really open about stuff. Like, you'll sleep with anybody, but...
What? Okay, that is not
kidding. Correct. That is a joke, everyone. A joke. Jeez Louise. Sorry for making entertainment value.
Really? That's entertainment?
To me?
Fair enough.
All right.
Okay. Never have I ever called a significant other by the wrong name.
Yeah, I have absolutely done that.
Wow. How did they react?
Really gracious. Casey
Aww.
was... I know, and because Casey was so nice. But before Casey... before Casey, the only girl I was sexual with was Rachel, who was my ex-girlfriend before that. So when we would fool around. One time I accidentally called her Rachel while we were doing stuff. I explained it.
I don't know if you listen, Casey, but that is amazing, and not many women can do that. So that
because
is
I really was
phenomenal.
sorry. It wasn't because I was not fantasizing about Rachel.
No, and that's the thing. I think most times it's genuinely you just have something ingrained in your head, and it is completely accidental. But most people can't.
Yeah,
like it's a hurtful thing. So for somebody to be able to mentally take that and realize that it wasn't meant maliciously and be able to forgive that, that's phenomenal. So.
No, I mean, we even finished having sex afterwards.
That's amazing.
She never brought it up for fight or anything.
And that's the other thing, to not hold it against you or bring it up. That's remarkable, especially for someone so young. I would imagine at that point. So,
okay. Other one I'm going to ask you, because I know you dated someone and we sort of got into it. And I don't remember the specifics, so I'm going to hit you with it. Never have I ever dated someone for less than a week. So have you ever had a boyfriend that lasted less than a week?
A boyfriend?
Like, we are boyfriend and girlfriend, and then it was over within a week.
No.
What's the shortest one ever?
Boyfriend and girlfriend?
Yeah.
Like, officially? With titles?
I mean, yes, jeez. It's going to be like 12 years.
I mean, at least over a year.
What a nerd.
I
had a girlfriend for 20 minutes once. Because I'm a player.
I definitely had somebody that I didn't treat incredibly well, because he was interested in me. We went out on a date. But we had never called each other boyfriend and girlfriend. It hadn't gotten to that level.
Yeah.
But
because once you call yourself a boyfriend and girlfriend, that's telling the rest of the world we are exclusive.
Yeah, definitely.
Never
I regret how I handled it, because I didn't do it well, but I was 18. But at the same time, it was not to the level of boyfriend.
Yeah, you don't owe no one shit. If you're not saying I am loyal to just you, you don't owe them shit. You ain't gotta freaking respond to their text or call them back or any of that dumb shit.
Yeah.
All right, hit me up with one more, and then we'll wrap this baby up.
Never have you ever ghosted someone.
What does that mean?
Means that you were messaging them, talking to them, going out with them, and then just stop responding to them at all. And just ignore them.
Out of the blue? Yeah, I have.
Aw.
Well, I know.
Why'd you do that? You didn't think they deserved some kind of response?
I gave a response later, like months and months later. Does that count?
Did you apologize at that point and said I should have said something earlier?
No, because then I started dating somebody else, and I explained that was like, she was so boring.
And that's fair. Like, if you don't want to be with that person, cool, but you could have said
We have made this clear that when I was younger, I was trash. But it was during this famous time where I went on 3 dates with 3 different girls, and it was all the same date within a month. So I took this first girl on a date. I took her to Applebee's. Then we went to the movies. Then I took her home. And we went fine. She was sort of into it. I was sort of into it, but it wasn't we weren't like, let's be exclusive. Then I had another girl that I liked. And we did the exact same date. And then I had this third girl that I liked. And we did the exact same date. But then we went on a second date. And I really liked her. And I really, really liked this girl. Her name was Allison. Really was into her. But she just closed up so much when it came to being alone and having to talk. And like, she was so difficult to connect with in person, because she's the only one I gave multiple dates to. We ended up going on like three or 4 dates within like a week. But 3
dates in a week, and then you just never talked to her again?
I said a couple months later. But then after, there was just, during those 3 days, I tried really, really hard. Because when we weren't dating, she was so funny. She was so much fun to be around. Loved hanging out with her and her friends. She was really good friends with my brothers. But then when it just became her and I, she said she really liked me and stuff, but she was so shy, and I cannot deal with not talking. I love talking. But it was just so much me talking with no response, or very little response. And it wasn't fair. She was so sweet. So, yeah, I ghosted her.
Oh, baby.
But then I started dating Casey, and I was like, yeah, I'm dating this girl. So
I'm glad that at some point you gave her some kind
of
communication.
And now she's happily married.
Well, good for her.
I don't know. Well, one of the others happily married, Erica. No idea what the other girl's doing. No, I don't even know she's alive. So everyone ends up better when they're not with me.
I'm sure she is alive. Just
Shelby, I don't know. She was a wild one.
Well, I hope she is. I hope she's alive.
Me too. That's everything. That is our Never Have Ever. So hopefully you learned something new about us.
I did.
Let us know.
Clearly.
Oh my goodness.
I wasn't saying that. I was saying that I was 50-50. I definitely didn't know a lot about... No. I just meant I clearly don't know that much about you.
Attack me again.
No.
You can find us anywhere you enjoy podcasts. Hopefully when you're hearing this, we have a president. It's recorded when we don't, but hopefully we have a president by now.
A president-elect.
A president-elect.
We technically have a president until January. Regardless.
Our next episode is The Greatest Fights, where we'll talk about mistakes we made when we had really big fights that never really came to an end, fights that looking back on now we think just are stupid and funny, and why does it even matter? Fights we've had with other people, fights we had with other relationships, all kinds of stuff. The topic is just the greatest fights in our lives. Really excited for that one. I love you.
I love you.
You want to go upstairs?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.